going on? RGIJ is back, baby.
Right. So we go there. I get there. It's a Wednesday night. They order pizza. They have enough pizza. We have it the second night. I went to Sprouts and got it. Yeah. Oh, I went to Sprouts and got a roast cherry chicken, and I got chicken now. Like I split it, I got for 2 days. But they're eating pizza. They're not being rude. They're not waving in my face, but I smell that shit. So guess what I had today on Sunday? Fucking pizza, because I wanted it. But it's just like, well, I'll wait till Sunday, man. And then they're like, hey, how about drinking? Like, we went to a bar. I got sparkling water. They're like, oh, you're fancy. Yeah. I'm like, I mean, yeah, I'm just drinking water. Like, I mean? It's just one of the weird ones where I think when you want things the way you want to be, you're a little bit different. But at the same time frame, man, like, again, I'm 95. I'm picturing myself 95 years old, telling my great grandkids, hey, you see all these companies we have, you see all this money we have. This is where it started from. And this is what I did to get there. And so when I look at it from that point of view, it's like, it's easy to now go to the gym for an hour. I like, honestly, I'll work out at the gym and then I don't think about it till tomorrow. I never think about like, it's just an hour of my time, maybe 2 if I make it long, but that's it. So I don't look at it. And even when I went to go work out during there, I mean, I'm running now. I'm hurting from the roads and those things, but it was just an hour. Like, it wasn't the whole grand scheme of things. I just woke up before anyone else. And because I woke up so early, I controlled my time. And because I control my time, that is one thing I'm going to do is work out for sure.
Yeah. Cause I enjoy after the gym, just the way I'm feeling from it. You know what I'm saying? And and for me, because I like to lift weights, I like to see that progression where I'm going from, let's say 60 pounds to now I'm doing 75 pounds. You know what I'm saying? For me, that visual to see the progression of weightlifting, that really pumps me up too. But like I said, for me, it's just hard because it depends who I go see, like who I'm visiting. Like I said, with Matt, I know I'm going to do the gym. Right. With somebody else, maybe 1 or 2, depending if that person likes to do the gym. Because I'm not going to force it on them. Like you said, if they want to go gym with you, they'll go to gym with you. If they don't want to go, then they won't go to. But I've never caught myself going to see somebody to say, hey, man, where's the gym? Or, hey, do you want to go to the gym? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm showing up, Izzy's showing up to just party. You know what I'm saying? Just hang out, maybe sightsee here and there, check out some restaurants, go to a bar, lounge, whatever. And that's going to be my plan. Because now what I have done to myself is I sort of psych myself out to say, all right, I'm only going to be gone Thursday, Friday, Saturday, come back Sunday. I'm only missing 3 days out from the gym. But then I know I'm going to be okay because I don't go on vacation for the next 2 months. So then I'm just going to be like, I'll make sure as soon as I get back that Monday, I'm going to the gym. Right. So then I'll just splurge. I'll just like, fuck, I'll do what I need to do. But then I have to make sure I recalibrate myself when I come back to go back to what I was normally in the routine of doing things. Yeah. But you're right. I don't try to not discipline, but force anybody to, do the gym.
I didn't force no one either. Yeah. I mean, I didn't force them, but they came in, they saw me sweaty. And so they knew I was like, when they woke up, and they're like, where's he at? We know where he's at. He's working out. And it's not offensive. And like, I don't believe in being like, hey, I'm gonna go work out. Y'all fuckers suck. That's not like, it's like, hey, man, like fucking losers. Look at y'all fuckers. Didn't even fucking have the heart, and going around shouting out, be like, oh, y'all fucking pussies. Yeah, just going pussies. Look at y'all pussies. Y'all can't even wake up.
I would have went knocking on the door. Reveille, let's go. We're going to the gym.
But like for me, like there's I heard this thing from Tony Robbins, right? And one of the things I did from Tony Robbins was how do you identify yourself, right? What are the things you identify yourself? And they came around, they're talking about, I think in World War II, where they captured a couple Americans, and to get an American, it was a Japanese, and to get an American to turn on Americans, what they had to do was change the way he identified himself. So it was talking about they would never change. They would never like turn on America, be a traitor to America because they're Americans. Right. And that's how they identify themselves. So what they had to do was segregate one prisoner from the rest and treat him better. And so the other Americans would treat him bad. So therefore he would hold on to this American identity. Right. And so what I've done is it's how I identify myself, right? Identify myself as a husband, a father, and a veteran. And those three things, they have a whole bunch of definitions beneath them that mean something, right? And for me, one of my goals is, before it used to be never be over my weight, to never go over 207, right? And what that meant was I'm never 10 pounds over height and weight standards. And for my height, it's like 197. Now that I'm this weight, my goal is that I'm always at like 197, no matter what time of day. I could always go weigh in and be ready for service, right? And it's just, I'm not going to, right? The Air Force is not going to call me up and be like, hey, can you come back in? That's not going to happen. But it's a mental side of it.
Right.
And what that means as a veteran, I need to hold myself to a standard that when people look at me and they know I'm a veteran, they're like, makes sense. Oh, you're disciplined. You're fit. You're this. That's what I have, that idea what they expect out of a veteran, right? Like, oh, you're kind of that person we expect. You're nice, you're courteous, you're professional, you're fit, you're, American, you're proud to be American, you're these type of things. And that's what a lot of people think it is to be military, right? And so I try to hold on to those standards. And now that is my new standard, right? We must work out 5-6 days a week. The reason why I say 5, if I get hurt, okay, I'm allowed to sleep in if I need to get rest.
Right.
But not more than 1 day. We're not going less than 5. The goal is 6, right? The goal is exceed the standard is 6. The standard is 5. And so I just hold on to, it's like what we're talking about. I think it was after the show, right? When we were talking about Satch. And I was like, for me, what I found is I've really just held on to what the military taught me. I do 1206s on myself almost all the time, right? So I go by quarters. I have a book right now where I'm going over my plans for the next quarter. So I wrote it out. So today's October 2nd. Right. The new quarter starts for me. All right. These are the goals for this quarter. We're going to go at it as hard as possible. And then we'll write the next quarter out. We'll do these things. And I'm literally just doing what the fuck the Air Force taught me to do. Like I'm not reinventing the wheel.
Yeah. And that's good. And I mean, and that's where I feel like that's where the discipline comes in, because you are sort of disciplining yourself to make sure that you are following through with what you're saying. Because I forgot who I was talking to. There is a difference between just saying it and following through to actually doing what you're saying. And I know you're a big proponent that, like, if you say it, you're going to do it. I don't know how many times you tell me to take out the, oh, I think, or, I don't know, or those hesitation remarks or anything like that. So that's why I feel like the discipline comes into place. And I mean, I don't write nothing out. I know what I have to focus on. I know that sooner or later school is going to end and I need to rebound and start figuring some things out or whatnot. But for me, it's like, again, with the working out and everything else, is I feel like I have to do it. 1, because I'm single. 2, I'm already in my mid-40s. 3, I don't know how many people younger than me have already passed away because of something. You know what I'm saying? Like either they were obese, they just weren't taking care of themselves, they weren't eating right, or whatever the case would be. So to me, I'm just like, man, I cannot fall into that. And I have to even give you credit because of the fact that you're married. A lot of the married men or women, once they, put the ring on everything else, that's when slowly they sort of start pushing away from the routine of working out, of running, of hiking, of doing this, of doing that, because they get into that little frame of, who else do I need to impress? I already got the person. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So now it's like my working out from 6 days a week is now going down to 4 days a week. It's not going down to maybe 1 day a week. It's now going down to until the wifey's like, yo, honey, you're fucking getting fat. Or he's telling her, hey, you're getting fat, for them to realize, oh shit, we need to go back to what we were doing before we got married,
Well, I look at it from the point of view of, and I told my wife this, like, I'm trying to impress you. I want to make sure you want to be right next to me. Like, there's a different, you've seen those couples before where they're like in their 70s and 80s and they fucking hate each other.
Yeah.
They're kind of stuck together, and that's why they don't leave. Right. And I've always told my wife, like, I want you to want to be here. You don't need to be here. And that's what I like. I want you to want to be here.
Right.
I want to be with you as well. So I'm going to get better. If there's any things I need to work on to become a better husband, I'm going to work on them, man. I'm not perfect. I got to work on things. I'm working on being present. A new thing I'm working on is when I'm at the table, I put my phone over and I'm talking to my wife, because I'm so busy all the times. I get to my phone and now I'm trying to like decompress, but that means we're eating and I'm not paying attention. So I'm working. Those are things I'm working on. And those are some things she's had to tell me. And so being in, like, trying to get in shape is one for business, right? So I want to make sure that when I go into a deal and I talk to people, I'm confident. I'm more like, okay, cool. I'm putting in work without no one seeing it. And I was putting in work, never told anybody I was really doing all these things. And I lost weight and I kept going. And I was like, hey, I'm 30 pounds down. This is where we're at. And
that's awesome.
You know what I mean? And like I said, I'm trying to make sure that I'm trying to impress my fucking wife most of the time. I'm trying to be hardcore because that's the kind of guy she likes. So I'm like, cool, I'll be that guy. Now, if another girl was to be like, hey, I think this and that, it's like, I'm good. I'm not trying to be with you. I got someone I'm trying to be with. And so I think you still got to impress your wife, me personally. I think you got to kind of, do those things. So it's good.
Let me ask you this. So I was with some peoples today, just hanging out, and a discussion came up, and mostly, they were married couples and everything else, but the discussion came up of a man looking at another woman that he thinks, oh, they look hot, while they're with their significant other. Do you see that as a problem, being that you're a married man? Like, let's say you and your wife are out, and you're in a restaurant hanging out, and all of a sudden here comes this dime piece coming into the restaurant. You're a nice body, maybe big booty or something like that, and she walks by. Knowing that you're with your wife, will you catch a glimpse to be like, or will you just not even? So the thing with the wives was they were upset because the husband sort of looked, and it was like the eyes kept following. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It just kept up because she looked, she had probably a big booty or whatever, so she looked good. Where us fellas didn't feel like there was anything wrong because one, the whole saying, you can look but don't touch. You know what I'm saying? So we didn't think anything was bad because it was like, okay, yeah, he looked, but I mean, vice versa. If you saw The Rock, Channing Tatum or whoever coming in, you're gonna be like, as a female, it's gonna a little glimpse is gonna happen.
Right.
But the upset was the fact that it was like the eyes followed through. You think there's something wrong with that?
I do. I really do. And the reason why I say it is it goes back to what I was telling you, how I identify myself. I'm a husband. My number one goal as a husband is not to disrespect my wife. And a lot of that shit means going in public, man. My goal as a husband is never to insult my wife in public and like make people be like, fuck, that's your husband? Damn, that dude is like, he's fucking always looking at girl. Like, none of that shit. Mine is always to make sure I respect my wife in all aspects. If I'm around other women, how you doing? We go for a hug. It's a high hug and it's a barely like a touch, right? Like we're Keanu Reeves in it. Like we're not going there. Why? I have a wife. I have to respect my wife is respectable at all times, and I respect my wife in her absence. And I'm not like disrespecting her, making her look like a fool. And so if there's a woman walking by, I look at my wife and make contact with her. Like, I'm good, man. Like,
it's
right here, man.
Right here for 5 more seconds. I'm gonna stay right here.
She may not mind, but it's out of respect for her. Like, hey, I'm here, right? I don't want another female to see that shit and be like, look at this guy, asshole. Doesn't even do that shit. That's why I open the door for my wife. You know what I mean? My wife, I open her door. It's raining. I open her door. We're walking along the sidewalk. I walk on the outside. I make her walk in at all times, man. And it's again, I think it's out of respect for my wife. Yeah. Same thing with me though. It's if there was a guy walking around and she was oogling shit, if that made me feel uncomfortable, out of respect, she should not do that. It's just a respect thing, right? And my thing to the guys, I would tell them, go to fucking Instagram when you're by yourself, fucker. Like there's probably better chicks on Instagram anyways. Like you're okay. There's so many things online today. You can do it in your private and look if you really wanted to. And then I would say to the woman, hey, that's something that lets you know that he's probably thinking about other women because you don't look attractive no more to him. It's just the fucking truth. Hate to say it, guys. I hate to say it to the females, but a lot of times they stop caring about themselves. Like you were saying earlier, right?
Yeah.
If you do that, he's going to look at other women.
Yeah.
Because that other woman isn't doing that. She's working out still and she looks attractive.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thought that most probably men don't even think. That's why I'm single, because my head will be a swivel. I will have to go out with shades, and my girl be like, "Boo, why are you wearing shades all the time?" Like, just let it be. Let me wear my shades.
But like I said though, like how many women are like dressing nice? Like my wife and I talk about this sometimes. We'll go out and she's putting on makeup. It's like I'm not trying to look for anyone else. I want you to see me here and not look at these, like, you know what I mean? It's a thing. Like me too. I'm trying to look nice for my wife. I don't want to be a slob and then be like, why are you looking at these other dudes? Cause I look like shit compared, you know what I mean? Like, I think it goes both ways, but at the same time, for me, from my perspective, it's respect for my wife. Yeah. It's 100%. And like I said, I identify myself. And the first thing I said was a husband first. At all times, that's at the top of my head. I have to always make sure. if I'm alone with a woman, like I make sure at all times there's no intent, there's nothing like that. My wife has access to my phone at all times. I will tell her what I told that person.
Yeah.
I will talk about things like that. There's always at times I think you have to keep it that way. And if not, like there could be a way. And let's say they have put on a couple pounds and they feel insecure about it. And then your ass is looking at another girl. Like, dude, you just made your wife feel like shit. For what? For a girl you're never going to see again? You could just go on Instagram again when you're in the restroom and just fucking look at it all you want. Fuck it.
Yeah.
And you would probably just look at it for 5 seconds anyways. That's the funny part. You're probably going to spend 5 seconds scrolling to the next one. But okay, cool. Like, that's all it was 5 seconds, but it cost you points.
Yeah.
It's fucking stupid, right?
How far appropriate does a woman, will you like tell your wife, no, you're not wearing that? Like, what do you consider appropriate when, because you said like you would like to, you're going to dress up when you go out with your lady because you want to look nice. You don't want to look like a slob. Same thing for her. You said it's okay if she wants to dress up and everything. What's the threshold? Like, how far can she go when it comes to getting dressed up to go out? Because I've seen somewhere, the lady will want to get dressed up, go out here and there, but then the outfit is a little bit revealing, you know what I'm saying? Or maybe in my head, I'd be like, man, maybe we shouldn't wear this. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe cut it down a little bit. But there are some guys who are okay with that. They like that their lady dresses up, dresses out, this and that. I feel like it might depend on the location where we're going to, you know what I'm saying? Depend if it's a nice restaurant or it's just a casual restaurant, that would determine, okay, do we wear this nice tight dress outfit or do we just wear maybe nice jeans and a shirt outfit,
Mm-hmm.
So what's the threshold for you? What do you think is the threshold when it comes to women wearing appropriate attire where they go?
I'm going to say, this is where I would have Chantel come on and sit there and say communication. You know what I mean? Like, for real, it's just real fucking talk, man. You got to talk about this shit. I personally don't have to worry about it because my wife's very conservative. So we don't have to worry about that. Like, but we're very conservative. We both talk about it, but I know all the clothes she has and she has nothing like that. Cause she's not like that. She's like, hey, I'm a mom, I'm a wife. Like, I need to like tone down my shit. I can still look nice and not wear tight clothes. But I'm also very conservative too. We're both very conservative people. So, but we've talked about this. Now, if you're a girl who wears sweatpants all day and you put no makeup on, and then because you're going out to dinner and you got a dress and it's like, damn chick, like I can see your asshole. I'm not your asshole, but I'm saying I can see your butt cheeks hanging out.
You're right.
That'd be crazy,
asshole,
right?
Yeah.
Like, Jesus, woman, I can see your asshole from here. Fucking need to bleach that shit. Fucking go sunbathing. People are sunbathing their assholes now.
It doesn't surprise me.
It's probably a Florida thing. More than likely, it's a Florida thing or a California thing. It's either or. It's Florida because they're high on meth, or it's California because they're fucking like, you gotta have all sun exposure.
The Europeans.
But you know what I mean? Like, you gotta talk about this shit, man. Like, again, it's like, it's almost the answer for everything is communication. It's funny. But if you're a girl who's wearing sweatpants all the time, and then as soon as you want to go out, hey, by the way, like, you're telling your husband that like when he sees you all the time, you're not worth dressing up. But when there might be other people around, you're gonna dress up for them. You're going to have some fucking problems down the road because it's just sending the wrong fucking message. You know what I mean? It's like kind of like that thing where, hey, I'm going to have a high school reunion. So I'm gonna go see your next girlfriend. I'm gonna start working out. You're telling your girl at that moment, I've been married to you for 10 years. I've never had a desire to work out, but I might see an old flame. So I need to get my shit together. You're going to have some problems, man. You're sending the wrong message to everybody about what you're doing. So I always sit there and say like have that talk. I don't have to worry about it. I never have to worry about that ever so often. But also I know my wife looks at herself and sits there and says like, I'm not going to disrespect my husband either.
Right.
And we look at it that if she was dressed like too revealing, that would probably be disrespectful to me. But we've had those talks, right? We know how each other are, so don't have to worry about it.
And it's crazy because those talks are either going to have to follow through now that, you have daughters.
Mm-hmm.
My brother, the Marine, I know for sure him and his wife, they're going to be like, look at their daughter and be like, oh, hell no, So those talks are going to have to continue on following through because of the fact that your daughter's going to get to be a teenager, so on and so forth. And they're going to want to rebel and be like, my friends are wearing this. Why can I not wear it? Just things like that, which is crazy. And I've seen it where the woman would be dressed nice, and it's not the fact that she's too revealing or anything like that, but there's just dudes that are just straight up disrespectful when you go out. Like
Yep.
they don't know how to, you know, keep their mouth shut and not say anything, you know, because there's been times where a woman will go through and some of these men think it's okay. Let me grope a little here because of what she's wearing, you know, or and not even care, you know, because they're like, fuck it, who cares if she's with a dude or not, you know?
Yeah.
Because that happened one time with one of these girls walking by, some dudes slapped her ass, and we're like, oh man, now we're gonna have to fight because he just slapped my friend's girl's ass. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I look at motherfuckers in the eye every time I walk by. I just look them in the eye, like, just so you fucking know, man, I'm right here in your eyes.
I'm right here.
You look at her, and then you look right back at me, and you're like, oh, you've been looking this whole entire. Yes, motherfucker, I'm aggressive. I will protect this woman at all costs, homie. Like, I always make sure we're in the room.